Well, I'm a big believer in that if you're going to get the best out of your staff, you have to develop them. And I think learning festivals and opportunities for staff to get out of the classroom is really, really important. And I suppose my own story actually illustrates that fact in that my journey in terms of mindset started back in 2009 when I saw Carol Dweck talk in fact, it was a keynote at the Scottish Learning Festival. And it kind of reminds me how important it is for staff to get out and experience these events. But from that point, I thought this is interesting. This may be something of relevance to what I'm doing in teaching, and followed up with some reading, actually reading Carol's work, and was even more convinced that this is something that was important. So from that, I then took it back to school and introduced it to my head teacher at the time. She was also very enthusiastic, and we've been developing it ever since. The current, I suppose, culture at developing anything is about starting things small and starting small projects and building them up. And in some senses, this goes against that because what we're talking about is a cultural change. And if you're going to get a cultural change, it's difficult to do it in isolation. It's a bit like health eating. If you just got one class doing health eating and the rest you're selling junk food and so on, it's not going to work. And I think mindset's a wee bit like that. It's a wee bit against the grain in terms of starting small, I think. So in some senses it's a bit scary, but it's really about a full cultural shift. So in terms of a school, you're talking about the staff, the parents, the pupils obviously, and indeed everyone, partnerships, and as many people who interact with the school, the full community. I suppose that's the difference. It's really about making that cultural shift across the whole community. And in some senses that's different from other things that you would introduce to a school.